Welcome everyone back to another episode of Welcome to Q&A with Sharon's son George podcast. So it was my mother's caretaker Sharon, who was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Unfortunately, she passed on 1/1/2020, and we started TogetherForSharon.com in her memory. But today again is not about my journey and my mother's. It's really bringing people who I find really just not just exciting, fun, but just somebody who is determined. And I want to welcome Stephen Williams from ParkNsons T-shirts. And the reason I wanted him, I was so excited today because I've been following him for over a year maybe, but I just get excited when I see his posts. I have a lot of people on here that get me inspired, make me not just have hope that we'll find a cure for Parkinson's, but that just make me never give up because I want a cure for them. And I'm also proud to say I'm a member. So
There you go.
I
Hey,
love
look at that.
I
Look at
walk,
that.
I walk around with my mug and use it every day. I don't know, it's hard to want to, that's better. But I
There
love
you go.
you look just like the picture for some reason.
Oh, I don't know why. It's just irony, I guess.
Well, like I said, we never got to speak like this live, but I feel like family when I watch your TikTok videos. I get inspired and it pushes me to keep wanting to advocate for a cure. So again, welcome.
Bless you.
So
Thank you.
yeah, let's get right into it. Can you tell us about yourself and then we'll get into maybe even toward the end we can, if you, I don't know if you're prepared, I didn't ask you, we could even take a tour of the website and see what the latest things are. Because I love the shirts, I love the ideas. Even if
Yeah.
everyone listening here, I want you to support Stephen, but also you might have an idea out there. I bet you Stephen would love to hear it on future ideas because everyone knows, it's not always simple to just keep coming. Yeah, even in social media and advocacy, you got to keep
Yeah.
thinking. And some nights I know you might be the same, but I don't sleep just because all of a sudden like an idea pops. And now I'm thinking of a shirt where you can have someone with you probably already have it, the bubbles on top, and you can have me. I'll be an advocate for Parkinson. I'll buy.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of my designs that I have created has been an inspiration through people that I've talked to in the Parkinson's community. And I couldn't get half the things that I have up there on the website if it wasn't for the fact that they're so creative and they have all these wonderful ideas. Not to say that some of them don't really like, okay, I don't know if legally I can do that
Yeah.
or it goes against my conscience. There's some things like that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I really owe a lot to the people on the TikTok community, my Instagram, Facebook. Yeah.
Maybe now, before we jump into the T-shirts and the company, maybe you could
Sure.
tell us a little bit about your background. Again, I honor that you were
Oh
able,
yeah.
I really appreciate you doing that interview before this one, and it got to, out to a lot of people around the world. Hopefully you got a few more, individuals interested, but you really opened up amazing on that. So maybe we could do that again today.
Sure. Yeah. No problem. A little background on myself. Uh, it's really not that exciting, honestly. Married, kids, uh, drove a truck as a professional driver. I drove hazmat, and I did that for almost 13 years. Part of that was also driving over the road from sea to shining sea.
Mhm.
And I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and then all the while, I mean, I've always had a love for doing art. Ever since I was a kid, outside of wanting to be the Bionic Man, I also wanted to be a cartoonist for Disney.
Right.
So I had high goals. But even when I went to community, not community college, but a technical school for learning art, um, I did not have the drive or the commitment to actually stick with it. And well, frankly, I flunked out within the first year. And instead of uh, spending more money and dumping more money into me, I said, you know what, I'm just going to go enter the workforce, going to make a living, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, it's I'm still in the process of finding my voice when it comes to not Parkinson's, but to my
Mhm.
artwork. So it's a continual battle trying to find my
Well,
voice in that.
I never thought I'd be on TikTok, let alone promoting other individuals or even Parkinson's advocacy, but I see you on there a lot. Some of I like it because I always get excited because I think it'll be funny and fun, but then obviously sometimes it's sad and you want to reach out and advocate more. At least, I know the other day you showed that your hand was shaking due to Parkinson's and the mug and the cup. And those are the things that really, inspire me because you are sharing your journey and your work. It's important that we don't ever forget any individual. That's why I started sharing people's journey, because I find that everybody's so different, but so unique and important. So thank you again
Mhm.
for joining us.
Thank you.
How does like when you came up with this idea, how did your family think, and do they get involved with a lot of the decision making?
Well, actually, decision making, no.
But the fact that
Encouragement,
you get
yes.
imagine what it would be like if the kids started designing the shirts.
Well, I do have a couple of shirts where I mimic a child's drawing. Like I have Grandpa and Grandma are my. I have one that says Grandpa's my Parkinson's hero, and it looks like a child's drawing of what a grandparent or and also a grandmother version of it, of what they look like with the cape and everything. So um, I want to include everybody in my artwork when it comes down to that. Going back to what you said is that yeah, my family is very encouraging. Once I was diagnosed with Parkinson's, I still drove for over a year, but it got to the point where I couldn't drive anymore
Yeah.
because the situation that comes with Parkinson's, and so now I'm disabled, and so I spent quite a few, like a couple of years, just trying to figure out what I need to do because I don't want to just sit on the couch. I don't want it just to you know Parkinson's to just take its toll and just like wipe me out within less time because it's progressive.
Right.
So I tried doing a podcast with my wife. I've tried doing collecting sound audios. I tried to do uh, I even tried, the list goes on of all the things I tried to do, and this one just seemed to feel right to me.
What happened with the podcast, if you don't mind me?
The podcast, we did it like for 3 years, and it was Tenderfoot Tourist, and
Mhm.
we are a travel podcast. I used to love to travel, and they may still be out there. I did it for 3 years,
Mhm.
so but it just came very difficult with my trimmers to edit the audio,
Yeah.
and and on top of that, I told myself if after 3 years nobody was going to be following me, then it's not really worth my time anyway. So
Right.
it
No,
wasn't benefiting.
I appreciate your also. We love truck drivers, even though you're still not doing that, you still are always for life. And also hazmat, because I'm a first responder too in law enforcement, so we're all family. But I
Well, I
remember,
was going to say I have big respect for people. There's people in my family that are law enforcement, and what you guys go through, oh my goodness.
I'm
You
reserved.
guys need the most.
I'm reserved now, but I don't know, unfortunately, due to my back, what will happen with that. But it's definitely an interesting world out there, and that's one thing I don't want to get into because we have, I want to speak more about you, but I'm hoping someday to do something where we change the laws in the United States, and maybe it'll impact other countries where they need to add more about Parkinson's in the police academy because I taught at the academy, and there's not even the word Parkinson's in the training. And I've heard
Mhm.
horror stories where police can pull someone over late at night for maybe just signaling, and all of a sudden the person could have tremors, and the officer isn't aware. So guess what? I don't want that to end very bad, which, as you know, can. So from watching the news, there's always something lately. I thought about writing a research book on Parkinson's and policing, and also all first responders. And Michael J. Fox Foundation showed some interest that they might be able to help me with a bill. So that's going to be, is just not enough time in the day, but that's something I'm hoping someday we'll get out there.
Well, that's an amazing idea. Very good thought. I like that.
Well, it's like you see something that you impacts your own life and career, and you want to make positive change. And I love, again, the designs. I love mascot because it's you, and it looks like I mean, if I drew you, it'd be a stick figure.
Oh,
But I,
I'd use it.
I love it. So some of the areas about we spoke before, and you mentioned mental health, and I'm sure this obviously probably helps you a lot with that. But maybe you could touch a little bit about the mental health behind Parkinson's and even the T-shirt Parkinson's.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, when it comes to mental health, it's like I never okay, so you mentioned that video that
Yeah,
you saw the video where
you
I
did.
mean I Parkinson's just had the grip of me.
Yeah.
I was done, I'm finished. I can't stand it anymore. And I kind of snapped at my wife, and to this day, I mean, I'm going like, whoa, I hate that. And she referred to it as saying it's like that was an extremely vulnerable moment for me. I don't usually like to show that side of me, but seeing how I know that other people with Parkinson's struggle with these conflicting emotions, anxieties, depression, feelings of uselessness. I mean, the list goes on and on. And the frustration. And when my wife told me that it's okay, these things are going to happen. Um, we know it's not you. I love you and I hate Parkinson's too. Um, that right there in itself inspired me to make a t-shirt for that. So there's little things that happen that you'll see online on my shirt store that will either uh, most of them is because I've connected with somebody because they have a mutual problem with the Parkinson's, or I'm drawing from my own experiences going through this progressive disease and the frustrations that go on. And I'd much rather be an advocate that would reach people to help them smile, which smiling is it's a very helpful thing. It creates endorphins. It just it makes you smile. It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than going through life and crying all the time. I'd much rather laugh, and it sticks with people a lot longer. And I believe it's healing when you can laugh. So a lot of those designs are like based upon experiences that I have and presenting as an advocate, and also uh, not making lighthearted of it, but finding the humor, as humorless as it could be, the humor in tragedy. Mel Brooks, you know who he is, right?
Of course.
He,
Baseball.
he, huh?
Baseball.
Spaceballs, yes. He said one time in an interview, he goes, a man, the difference between comedy and tragedy, he said, a man who broke his nail is a tragedy. A man who falls into an open manhole is comedy. So you have to have that element of truth in there. You have to ride that line. So
It's funny as an attorney also, I remember in law school taking courses on the First Amendment and even people writing words on T-shirts. And so now it's like the other day it just popped up because 4 years ago, approximately, my mother passed due to this illness or disease, but I had bought a shirt that said F Parkinson's, and I always
yeah,
worried if I should put it up because you don't want to offend anyone. Then I reposted it recently just because I knew we were going to be talking, but I think I did get one out of a million people that's like, that offends me. I'm like, just go somewhere else. But I think it's great to use things like clothing because even, how we're dressed today or not dressed today, it's a form of expression. So just like art.
yeah,
And I think it's really amazing and different too. And also that I think I might be wrong. I do a lot of research and I've been on a year or two online doing this. It's been 4 years, but I really got very involved the last year because I kind of made a lot of friends like you. And when I see you struggling, that's kind of what makes me stay up at night. But it's just very interesting areas. And clothing to me again answers a lot of people. People spend a lot on clothing too, and how
sure
important
do.
it is. And they walk different places. It says a lot. I mean, it's like form of your expression. So. Uh,
Yeah.
I was wondering maybe again, I don't know if I should have asked you before, but do you have any of your favorite designs you can show us, or is that hard to,
Actually, I'm wearing one of my
uh,
favorites.
you want to
Yeah,
stand up?
there you go.
Is there a picture?
Yeah,
Yeah,
can you see it?
no, I think you have to stand up a little.
Uh-oh, this isn't a good sign. Okay, hold on.
That's why I love this, because we're live. Or
Let me see.
even if you want to pull the website, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah. So I mean, with me with the trimmers, I totally understand. I can tell you what people find as the favorite. Uh,
But
uh,
now I don't see you anymore in the
oh, you
camera.
don't see me?
You think you have to put it, yeah, that's perfect. A little more, wait, a little more down.
A little more down.
Yeah, you got it. Perfect.
Okay, cool. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, there's a lot of things that I've done. The simplest ones are like seem to be the ones that resonate with the Parkinson's community. Like, do you have Parkinson's disease questionnaire? Like it's written right across the chest, and then it has a check mark, yes or no, and the yes is like scribbled like that because they have no control over their motor control. That one's popular. Um, I'd show you,
Yeah, you can do
but
that. That's what I, yeah, if you want. Next time, I guess I was thinking of doing more of this where you could send me a PowerPoint, I'll open them and we talk, but I didn't have time. So
oh,
yeah, but
well,
if you
you know,
want to pull the
I'm
website, you could pull up the
well.
website unless it's too complicated.
No, I want to show you something real quick
Yeah,
before I go
that
any further, okay?
sounds
Because I
good.
don't want to run out of time and it's like, oh, we can't show this.
No, you're not running out of time.
All right, let me show you this.
And as Stephen does that, I'm gonna show, I like that one. But again, I recommend to go to his website like I did. And
Yeah,
please support him because it's not just about him, but it's also gonna send a message to the entire world that, you know, Parkinson's is out there, but can make it a little bit, if I always say my mother when she struggled, like we use music therapy a little, but if we, and art therapy, but we could even make her smile for a few seconds a day, then we did a
there you
great.
go.
uh,
Yeah. Okay, so you like
I
that,
like,
right?
yep, I like your
Uh,
stuff.
huh?
The castle's nice. Yeah,
What do you think of that?
that's beautiful.
Okay, now what if I were to put it on?
I like how you're doing this. Step walk, that's cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Love
It's on a
it.
mode.
I think it needs you in the middle because I like when you, honestly, my favorite thing is your, this logo of you. That's why I bought this cup actually, because I think it makes the difference and even you and the flowers would be cool. What other, how about some other,
Can I
I don't
put
know
some
if you,
behind my ear?
yeah, I don't know if you have the website up if you want to show us just
Yeah,
maybe some new things and
I can show you if it'll let me open it. Here, hold
yeah.
on. I know what I have to do. I have to come over here and open it from this side.
Yeah, this is, you're mirroring yourself. This is the inside inner workings of creating a podcast with Steve.
Oh man,
I love it.
why won't it open there? Oh, here, hold on. All my private information that is now being exposed.
It's all right, we're all family here.
There we go.
Maybe as you,
I'll go to,
maybe as you're,
huh?
can you talk a little about the evolution of your art? I know you mentioned a little bit earlier, but if you want to mention while you're looking, unless you found it, then we can, yeah, I see, that's all.
Well, the evolution of my artwork essentially, um, well, the the best way to describe it is not knowing what I was doing and just gradually getting more and more focused on being creative with making people with Parkinson's or people who support Parkinson's people who have loved ones with Parkinson's to encourage them to be bold
Mm.
and also create a smile. See this one right here. Remember I told you I had
Yeah.
that's my latest one. It says caution Parkinson's disease meltdown in progress. And you have an option of having it on all kinds of things.
All right.
Tie dye. You can even have it on I get coffee mugs. It doesn't matter, but I came up with that one. And then this one, I had to jump on the bandwagon with the Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, the
I
funny
had
thing is I don't drink coffee, but I love the coffee mug.
to. I know.
That was my,
Parkinson's disease can't steal my magic. So,
how many
but
shirts,
yeah,
how many shirts is it today? You know, 1/26, 2024 do you have on the website? A lot or?
right now on my T Public website, I have 3 websites,
Mhm.
but right now, hold on.
I think you should put that little logo on every single item. I don't know if it'll fit, but like a little teeny, like that's what I would like.
Well, it would fit although on
Right,
all of
that's
them.
what I thought.
Oh, which by the way, just FYI, all T-shirts right now
Thanks.
are $16. Well, as low as $16, it's
That,
25%.
that's very
Oh,
reasonable.
here we go, 429
Oh, that's awesome.
designs.
So you can see everyone listening is definitely, I mean, you could spend hours just looking and laughing and enjoying like I did. And again, my favorite though, I'm biased, is the one of cartoon of Steven, because I think I love that one.
I
I like the holiday ones. I remember seeing those.
Oh yeah, I love that. Even the ones I have ones that people who don't have Parkinson's can
Right.
actually enjoy, and
Yeah.
people with Parkinson's can enjoy. So, like I'm the reason Santa has a naughty list. Um, my most popular, you have a little button here
Mhm.
that says most popular, and that right there currently, so I've sold 60 of the Parkinson's looks like me. It's a
Also,
trend.
also, can you tell us your website? Just sometimes I can't spell it because I always think I'm missing something. That's the only.
Sure, yeah, no problem. It's Parkinson's T-shirts. That's PARK with a capital, well, they're not capital N, but PARKNSONS
Just hope we're not
T-shirts.
driving missing people who try and put the I, and then they're like, wait a minute, I can't find it.
Yeah. Well, and the reason why I did that is because there's people out there who have Parkinson shirts,
Right.
Parkinson's designs, Parkinson's, and I thought, well, I need to make it a little more me,
Mhm.
but it's still, and so uh, it was me trying to be creative,
No, that's great.
but it's Parkinson's without an I.
Right. Uh,
But yeah, I take
I
requests
like that
for
one.
other
It's the
people.
one, the red one. That's my favorite. On
This
the,
one right here.
yep.
Uh,
I mean, look, you could probably make cartoons next. That's what I think. A whole little cartoon put on the side. That's I'm not, I'll probably get you all motivated tonight to go start.
Probably it could happen.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know.
there's
I
another.
have 429 designs to pick from on my TeePublic. If you go to my bio and TikTok, or if you go into my Facebook or my Instagram or thread, I have what is called a link tree. And from there, you can get to any one of these websites.
What about on your, all right, so if they find you on TikTok, what about on your website there? Do you link to all your social media or they don't do that?
Oh
That's,
no, it's
all right,
all hooked up
perfect.
to my social media. Yeah.
That's important. If you want to reach out to Stephen, I mean, he's always really open arms, available, and we always talk all the time. But he's, you know, it's right there. You can probably tell him some ideas or something already out there that you love. Please order now. I don't know how detailed you could tell, but does the money go mainly to help you for, you know, medicines and family and things, or does it go?
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah. Yeah. Because of the fact that I've been disabled in
Mhm.
this area, that's what stinks about getting old. It's
Tell
like once you get to a certain age, it's like, well, you become really useless unless you can do the thing that you've been trained to do for like a decade, over a
yeah.
decade or more.
Well, that's,
Uh,
yeah, that's what I wanted to emphasize is this is really not just about shirts. Obviously, you can go to your local store, even though they're all closing down due to COVID, but it's
oh yeah,
also support Stephen, who again is fighting this disease, but we want a cure. So the more people wear it, in my opinion, the more people will be aware. So it's not just helping Stephen, you're helping everyone in the Parkinson's community, in my biased opinion, but you know, I think it's very important. Do you have more light? I lost you. You're dark now.
no, I'm here.
Can you put more light, or it was better lighting before? That's
Is
good.
that better?
Now, now you look like you're one of the floating heads from your t-shirt. That's perfect. You got it. Oh, there it is.
Okay, all right.
That's why I was excited for this, because I knew that we would have some fun. That's what this is all about. I
I,
think
I I I have no censor.
no, that's okay. That's what I love about you. John, we still have some time, and again, I wish I could spend all day. My family and yours will be mad at us because I've been doing a lot of these, and I actually really enjoy them. And you know, just as we speak, I just keep coming up with more. I mean, I'm actually planning to in the future to write a children's book, and I even picture some of your art. Maybe you know we'll have to talk about because I like your cartoons, and I had a lot of trouble explaining to my three children, as you did with yours, I'm sure, with explaining what Parkinson's is. And I don't even to this day, it's tough to still explain to my children what happened to their grandmother, because she loved them like you wouldn't, I mean, you could probably understand, but I mean, they were the reason my mother kept fighting. So unfortunately, again,
Yeah.
we lost our fight with the disease, but again, I do this because it's just, I don't want anyone else to go through, what we did.
Well, I was going to say my kids are all grown up now and out of the house. So it wasn't nearly as hard to explain those things. They still have questions because they're curious. My grandkids, however, they like my Amora, such a sweet child. She very inquisitive. She goes, "Why are you shaking?" And I go, "Well, because I have Parkinson's like that." And she goes, "What's that?" And I'm going like, "It makes me shake." Because she's only 2 years old. There's a limitation to how much you can actually share with a 2-year-old before they're either going like, "I don't understand," or like they're like, and they're zoning off. But yeah, you have that age that you're talking about whenever you're like they're 7 or 8 or even 5 years old, where you can go into a little bit of detail and they absorb it and they can just take it for what it is. I thought on many occasions when I before I started T-shirts, I actually thought about doing a children's book, why does grandpa shake, or why does mommy shake, or why do they do this or that or whatever, which is all Parkinson's related. But I didn't feel like at the time, which was a couple of years ago, you saying that reminded me of that was something that I had toyed around with. I don't know the first thing about how to even begin something like that. And I felt like it was so early into the progress. I felt like I didn't have enough answers,
Well, I
you
think with
know.
that image, you could even start, a comic book, and I would even have the honor, I don't know if you know, February 2nd to meet Michael J. Fox at Orlando. It's not, I think it's more of like a comic book type thing, but he's there for Back to the Future, but I can't wait. But I even picture a lot of your work, being at these comic shows and all those fans. I think that they would love it. But again, there's never enough time in the day.
Oh,
What do you think?
yeah.
One more really important question I have is the future. What are your plans for the site or yourself for the future? Like some goals? Maybe that's a great way to kind of come back, to conclude. But I know we're going to be seeing a lot of you, and I hope we do. Again, I look forward to just logging on to. I'm so tired some days of like posting. Then I get to see you, and I share it, and I
Oh,
smile. Then I keep going. So maybe you could share, if you don't have any now, maybe in the future, what you might hope to bring more shirts, designs, T-shirt. Also, remember everyone, feel free to reach out to me or Stephen, and please help support him. Again, I'm going to keep plugging it. I'll probably plug it in the future, but look how clear that is. I
I'm a
love,
starving artist.
yeah.
I'm wasting away.
No,
I got to maintain my girlish figure. Well, yeah, goals. When I first started this, I said, you know what, before Parkinson's, just like before I have to have DBS, basically, before it's coming to a point where I'm just, which by the way, DBS terrifies me. But I want to do 1,000 designs, and I'm already at what did I say, 430,
yeah,
429. And that was my just 1,000 designs. I say just 1,000. My 429 has already taken me almost 3 years.
yeah.
But I have just like writers, you have art block, writer's block, art block. That's a goal of mine. And the other goal, most importantly to me, is to be able to earn enough off of those, because right now it's next to peanuts. To earn enough off of those and reach more people that actually a portion of that could actually go to fund more research and more advocacy groups that would help people, because that's one of the things I had the problem with the most when I was first diagnosed. I had no clue of what I was to do next. I was in the middle of a professional career. I had And I was like, okay, what does this mean for my future, for my family, my finances, I mean, I'm going to lose my home. All these terrible thoughts came through, rushing through my head, and uh, no one was out there to help me. And the only thing I could rely on was my family and my God. That's it. So, and not to say that's a bad thing, but I needed answers. I needed a direction. I needed a guide. So yeah, I would love it if I could actually funnel some of that money to help and aid people who are newly diagnosed and they're struggling. That would mean so much to me because I could have used it whenever I was first diagnosed.
Yeah, and I think that's why we all try to put a little bit of that magic into what we do. Same thing with me. I was completely lost, so I decided to start TogetherForSharon.com, where it has all the resources, a lot of the support that you said. But I was, I went through all the caregiver struggle, stress, loss, grief, even today still. I mean, my mother was my best friend, so it's, every time we have a holiday and things like that. It's like there's a seat, but it's, missing. And I think back when we used to argue on Sundays about where we're gonna get takeout. I'm like, so it's dumb now, but I miss that. So, you know,
Yeah.
but I think a lot of people also when they wear your shirt or hold the mug, I'm gonna do it again. When they do it, I think they're also advocating, but it also a part of their heart too, and it means a lot. I hope. I know it does to me. So, is there any other areas that we didn't get to touch on, or when I met you or saw you, I told you you probably thought I was crazy, like I always tell people, but I said there's just something about you I really enjoy. Wanted to spend time talking and meeting you and helping you, but I want nothing in return, but everybody also out there listening supports you and shares this podcast. Again, we don't do this really for anything more than to advocate, because thankfully, we have things like the national plan to end Parkinson's moving quickly through the Senate this year, I hope, and passing.
Mhm.
That'll be a big support. And maybe even at some of these walks, I don't know if they'll help you. Some of the big organizations are tough, but they should let you, be there and share some of these shirts there. I know it must be
Yeah.
tough because, if you are trying to sell, help make money for yourself and your family because of the diagnosis, some of the organizations are not as easy to, work with because they don't like, saying yes to I'm sure you have a lot of stories of that.
Oh yeah.
Even
Yeah.
just my website, I had to explain to someone even today, I want you to like put a post up, your organization and mine, but I don't want anything. I'm just trying to fundraise for you, but it's like a struggle and I don't get it because again, we don't accept money. If you
Mhm.
look at this website, you can donate. And actually, maybe again, I want to talk. Maybe we could add your link to me too. Maybe we'll talk about that, soon. So maybe you could
Okay.
actually put it together for Sharon.com and maybe click, I have an area and then you can get right to Steven. So we'll do that right after. But
Oh,
anyways,
you're awfully kind to me.
no, again, the last thing I want to say is it's so unique because I've been doing this again for 4 years, but one big time, and I haven't seen anything else like it at all, like nothing. So again, if anyone listening wants to correct me, let me know. But I haven't literally, and I look because I look for people who are not just diagnosed, but people who are unique, people who motivate me, inspire me. And in a month, we're having a comic on he has Parkinson's in the UK. He actually makes comics and it's pretty cool. His name's Matt. You'll if you follow along, everyone, you'll be able to. That's the Together for Sharon podcast with my wife and I. We do that on weekends, so I do the Q&A during the week because she's with the kids. But it's pretty cool because his main character is like it's like a black, kind of weird looking shape, but it's Parkinson. So, and then it's him.
Okay.
His whole comic is him and talking to. It's really, that's why you two actually stand out to me the most. I'm sure that's I always say the one journey or person out there that I'm not aware of are the ones that break my heart. So again, it's just an honor to call you friend and to help support you and your family in any way I can. And again, I hope that this is just the beginning of many more, talks and posts together. But I really
I'd
wanted,
love it.
I wanted to thank you for joining me. I want to remind everyone to please follow Stephen on every social media, like especially TikTok, because you'll definitely get a kick out of it and you'll smile and you'll go through some tough time, but in the end, it's all, again, for some great reason. So on that note, I don't know, Stephen, again, if you have any last minutes thoughts?
I think you just took the words out of my mouth.
I put you on the spot. Sorry. I promise I
Yeah,
would.
that's okay. No, that's okay. It's good for me. All right. That's what they say. Puts hair on your chest.
Well, here's one shirt I would like someday, but it has to have your logo. So this is what I always say before we end any of my our podcast. But we love you, and this is Stephen too. I'm sure he'll agree. We love you listening. We support you, and we care a lot about you. And you're never alone. And wear the shirts because you'll really never be alone. But I will. We'll both advocate for you, and together again, our voices are so much stronger. And I always joke and say I'm just getting started, even though I'm not. But I feel like every day you're really just restarting and you got to keep pushing, even when you want to give up, just like, those diagnosed, those caretakers and people who unfortunately have lost someone due to the Parkinson's or dementia. You can't give up. There's different types of people in the world. And I guess we both have today have chosen to fight back. And I think that you're doing some incredible things. So thank you again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for giving me your time too.
No problem, anytime. And thanks everyone for listening. This has been another episode of Q&A with Sharon, son, George, that's me. And I'm looking forward to many more. So thanks for listening again. Please share this and again, be safe. And we send our love and support always.